as Yaku was saying, yesterday we casted Demi-C weekly, and it was basically a dream pool where the entire tournament was played on maps like Catalyst, like Abyssal Reef, Overgrowth as well, Blackpink. So if you want to tune into that, it was a lot of fun, and the VODs are available on our Twitch channel.
Turn on audio at your own risk, though. That was I casted that with Elix, and let me tell you, that was the Zoomer edition.
Oh boy.
As we continue on to Lightshade LE, we're here in the bottom right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the blue Zerg player, one of the few Zerg players remaining in this current bracket. Armani is on the other side, but he's up against Nice. We'll see how that goes. He is coming down from the land of Korea, representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We have the brightest player in all of StarCraft 2, Solar. Energy.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, greeting his opponents, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is red. He is typing in Hangul. Hopefully we can get a translation. He's also representing his new team, Good Game Gaming, GGG. It is Patience. Oh my god.
He greeted him in English.
He did. And Solar responded in, I almost said Spanish, in Korean.
Korean.
Even though Solar's known for his English.
Right? He might have... It's topsy-turvy world, you know?
Mm.
Look, Patience, he is full of surprises today. First, he didn't go for Blink Stalkers. Now, he's showing off his English.
Yeah, he's all over the place, mate. Who knows what to expect from Patience? Again, I'm pretty surprised that Solar decided to go for the triangular third base as his unnatural natural. Interesting choice.
Yeah, to me, this kind of says to me that Solar wants to be a little bit more defensive, right? He just wants to have his creep spread in this little corner of the map and just trying to defend his bases from something like Glaive of Depths or something.
I would have said as well that because we know Solar fairly well in this matchup, and if he can, he'll end the game early. he will just zoom queens across the map. He will make Hydras. He will end it. And this could help with that as well.
He's definitely been one of those players who has been very vocal about hating Skytoss in the current meta.
Oh yeah.
Well, I say very vocal. What I mean is he just went on Twitter and it's like, I dislike Skytoss.
Yeah, it's not help. Yeah. Said help.
Yeah.
Oh god. So we'll see. I mean, thankfully, Patience is not embracing that Skytoss. It is not a Stargate opening. He is going for that Twilight Council.
Yeah, if there's any player who wasn't going to be playing with the meta or how the meta dictates, it would definitely be Patience.
It would. I mean, part of me feels like he could even go Glaives into a Dark Shrine as a follow-up. Like, it's something that he's not afraid to do. He's not ashamed to do either. He embraces everything that is Protoss.
The Adept does get taken out.
Oh boy! And as soon as that,
yeah, as you're saying,
as soon as the Adept gets taken out, immediately Glaives gets started.
Solar, I like to imagine just bantering a little bit, like, hey, can't you micro? But I don't read Hangul. I'm gonna need Maddox to translate that.
Unfortunately, Maddox is not in the lobby. We do have Inu though, so maybe Inu can throw out some translations. What's interesting right now though is that Patience, even though he has some overlords and some links out on the map, he has not gone into scout whatsoever.
Yeah, to be fair, Patience has been doing a very good job of just keeping Solar back. He took out a Overlord a little bit earlier on and just making sure that his wall is as solid as can be. But yeah, this could definitely hurt Patience. He is playing it safe though, prioritizing the Roach Warren.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now he confirms that, okay, it is Glaive Adept, so he's getting ready for it. We see a massive wave of Lings on the way. As you were pointing out, the Roach Warren does finish up, so Roaches will be coming out shortly.
Yeah, cancels those safety spores once he realizes glaives are on the way. Really wants to make use of those minerals to get more roaches out. Patience trying to go for a bit of multi-prong, but Solar already on it, chasing that away with the queen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Patience, he did find a nice juicy spot where there was no creep, but there was a queen, so Patience was unable to warp into the main. And oh my god, you never see this. Normally, you see the opposite of this. He's going into double Stargate.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned earlier in, I believe, the creator game that you normally want to go for your Stargate first. It is such a safe opening. It prevents the scouting from the Zerg players so well, and then you just do sort of whatever behind that. Patience, kind of, I'm perplexed. Is what I am.
Yeah, like
he's giving the advantages essentially by doing it this order.
I'm fairly certain that I have never seen a Protoss player. He commits to Shade as well, by the way, which is probably not the best idea. He's an episode meltdown. Yeah, he does manage to dodge the battle. We'll see how much damage he can get done. He's looking to try and get into that mineral line.
But a very quick response here from Solar. Very good evacuations. And the Adepts are just about going to get surrounded and taken out. To be fair, Patience might have been trying to free up some supply for Stargates, but a little bit mistimed, to say the least.
And the problem is that he is going to a Stargate production. I mean, he has to. He needs to keep Solar at home. If Solar counterattacks, Patience is dead because he's not getting Void Rays. He's getting Phoenixes.
Against Roach Ravage. You know, I was gonna make a joke about how Patience realized that Solar hates double Void Ray production, but as he said, he's not going for Void Rays.
I was gonna get into this, but I don't think I've ever seen a Protoss player go glaives into double Stargate. Like, that's just something that you don't see happen. At least I haven't seen happen in as much StarCraft that we've been able to cast, and let alone into double Stargate Phoenix. Like, this just I don't.
Maybe Patience is anticipating Solar to switch into mutas, but that's not going to be the case here. I mean, historically, Solar has favored those Hydras, and we do see him going for a Hydra. Then now, what are these Phoenixes going to do here?
That's what I mean.
Phoenix Adept?
Like, the Phoenixes, they can harass, I guess, but like against Lings and Roaches and Ravagers, like I don't see them doing much. I have no faith in Patience's army. I'll be so impressed if he can make this work.
You know what? So will I. He is trying to go for a bit of multi-prong here, distracting the army of Solar by a little bit. But now that Solar realizes it is mostly Adepts, is he going to commit? He does commit.
Yeah,
and to be fair, he does have the high ground, but he doesn't have the choke point.
Yeah, it's really weird here as he committed into the main base. The Adepts, they are being chased away by the Roach Ravager. They will shade away.
Is this actually working out for Patience? So he hasn't lost too much here with his assault. His Phoenixes are doing as much as they can, actually supply capping Solar, unable to get those Hydras out that he wants to deal with these Phoenixes.
Yo, he's going full Brood War right now. Like, he is actually supply blocking him, so the amount of Hydras that are coming out is very limited. Oh, he commits the shade, not the best one as...
So many Biles, taking out so many Adepts. Just like that, Patience just lost his army advantage, and I'm speechless, honestly. Like, I did not think this attack was going to work, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It's like, well, this went about the way we thought it was going to go. Like, the Adepts, they fall to the Roach Ravager, and the Phoenixes don't do anything because it's Roach Ravager Ling. There's just too many units to pick up. It just doesn't work. There were even enough Queens to go toe-to-toe. There are enough Hydras out, and Patience is not stopping. He does not want Void Rays.
Huh. But we know him for bucking trends, but sometimes, you know, he usually plays against the meta for a reason.
Yeah, like Patience, he goes against the grain, but sometimes he just cuts himself when he does that, and we'll see if maybe he can overwhelm a mineral line and kill a mineral line, but...
Nope, GG. Solar taking game number 1 here. I just gonna be a quick little second while we contemplate this.
Why? It's the question we need to ask. Just a solid why. Just the one letter. That's it. Like, I don't I don't see that ever working is the problem. Like, it has to work, otherwise Patience doesn't. He does it for a reason. I would hope.
Oh yeah,
I would
definitely hope so. I really like how Artosis kind of described Patience a while back, which was you see Patience doing these things, and you cannot find a good reason for him to do so, but then it kind of works for him. So you imagine that he's doing something right, but then the next second it kind of falls on its face, and you think, "Oh, right,
yeah,
Patience
like,
we're talking about."
Like sometimes, like in the PvP, like Patience, he makes decisions and they work so well for him. Here he made a decision. He saw the response and he committed. Like he never faltered in his Phoenix production. Like he was unwavering in his confidence to make Phoenixes. He's like, this is what I need to keep making. Nothing that you do is gonna change my mind.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Patience, he makes a decision and it works. He only did step 1 in that plan. But we're going to be continuing on here on Oxide LE. We're here in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. The Blues player pretty much just playing his own game and not having too much difficulty winning previously. See if he can keep that up. Representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We have Sola. Battle.
Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the red Protoss. He's red, he's Protoss, he's representing Good Game Gaming, GGG. He's currently down 0-1 in this best of 5 series. It is Patience.
Asking for 3 gates? Oh, no. Something different, I imagine. Jungle.
So, I just, it's, I'm still trying. I'm trying to think about what happened last game because, like, I'm thinking,
trying to process it.
Yeah, because, like, all right, Patience. What he did was really unexpected, and when you do something unexpected, it's usually to like psych out your opponent. So, like, even if Solar went in and he scouted the double Stargate, and Solar's like, oh my god, it's Void Rays. I need to make Hydras, right? And then Patience is like, yes, I made him make Hydras. And then he comes out with his pieces, and he's like, oh, he has Hydras.
Which are somehow even worse versus Hydras than Void Rays.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd all be a lot happier if we just stopped questioning.
But this is why we love Patience. This is why we love Patience. It really is,
like, honestly. Like, no joking. I do really love how much he does buck these trends, goes against the grain. It doesn't always work out. When it doesn't work out, we're here entertained. When it does work out, we're there cheering him on, super hyped.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, he just does whatever he wants. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Regardless of which one it is, we are entertained. And that's why
Very
Patience, he is amazing to watch. And so far, this game has been a little bit more standard. This time, Patience has opted not to go for the Twilight Council. Going, again, more standard here. Shout out to Renegade, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was too afraid to ask.
No fear.
But I wanted to ask, but I was too afraid, so thanks, Renegade. But yeah, Patience is... Do you think maybe he wanted to go double gate last game, but then just forgot the order? And now in this game, he's like, oh, right, you opened with the Void Ray.
He's like, all right, let's go. Oh god, I made a Twilight Council. What have I done? All right, let's go. Let's just do it.
Might as well commit, you know?
Pretty much. Legend K with a rough French translation, Kappa.
Appreciate it, Legend K.
Of course, I don't think Legend K knows any Hangul either.
He knows a little bit from what I remember, but he was like learning a little bit from the last time I spoke to him, but I don't really know what his level's at. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Solar did attempt to go in with an Overlord to scout, but the Overlord was sniped. So, Solar, he has not seen that Stargate.
Yeah. He thinks there's a Stargate on the map, considering that there's a Void Ray that killed his Overlord, but he can't really be certain, you know?
It's true, it's true. And you know what I love? I love that I love that what's happening is Zerg is like questioning Patience. He's like, why did you he's like harassing him. He's like, why did you do this? And Patience is like trying to explain himself. He's being interrogated. I swear it works on the ladder.
As Inu told us, it's a bit of a meaningless story. Doesn't matter in the end. We are still we're still gonna indict. Is that the right word? Invict? Something along those lines. Patience. Evidence is against him.
Exactly. But this time, here we go. We have double Stargate on the way. Patience did opt to go for double Oracle first, so they are diving out there looking to try and... Ooh, there's no Spore here at the third.
And that is where the majority of the drones are at the moment. Again, this was not the third base for Solar. This was the natural base, but yeah, forcing it out of location. Now zapping down these drones. Unfortunately, we don't have game heart, but a lot of them being taken out right off the bat.
Oh, nicely done. All
not
the queens.
The worst thing in the world for Solar.
Yeah, the queens were distracted by the Void Rays earlier and just gets that recall off. Saves them both.
Yeah, not the worst damage in the world here for Solar. He is a 3-base Zerg. Can't afford to remake those drones. So Patience sneaking a quick little lead in the early game. Solar going for roaches once again. Being a little bit more aggressive this time, though.
Yeah, but this time, Patience will have Void Rays to defend, so he should be perfectly fine against roaches at least. Something that's pretty interesting if you look at the units lost. Patience has lost nothing so far. He's about to lose the depths potentially, but...
Oh, yeah. Wow. It's actually pretty impressive. Real good micro there with the Oracle. So saying that Patience is giving him a bit of a hard time, and do not blame him whatsoever. Interesting that Patience is prioritizing air upgrades.
Yeah, he's committing to the Sky Toss, and this is what we were talking about. If Solar can, he will end the game early, and he's waddling the queens across the map. They have plenty of energy for those transfuses, trying to focus down these rocks. Will Patience have enough to defend? He sees it.
Indeed he does. Come on, show me the stasis wards, Patience. But it's a little bit tricky for the Protoss player. There are two potential openings for Solar to push in from, and he needs to keep his eyes on both of them.
Oh, that he does. He needs to focus on dodging Biles as well. I love that Patience is throwing down shield batteries at his natural and his third base.
Ooh, a little bit of a miscalculation on that stasis ward. Not on this one, though. Just about every lane being taken out of commission. And that helps so much here in the defense for Patience. He has so much less to worry about. Can just afford to focus down these Ravagers and these Queens. But Void Rays, they don't have that much DPS when they're not attacking armored units.
Yeah, no, they do not. But more Void Rays are coming out. Oh, the stasis did run out, so the Lings are now free. Overcharge is used, but immediately the shield battery gets targeted down.
Yeah, really nice Biles and the Zergling focus here from Solar. And I fear that Patience just doesn't have enough numbers. The numbers are not on his side.
Exactly.
He can deal with the Lings pretty quickly, but then it's the Ravagers. And if he deals with the Ravagers, then the Lings are just going to kill everything.
Exactly. Everything here at the third base is going to go down. All the shield batteries have fallen. To be fair, there are enough Void Rays here to maybe focus down all the Queens. There's no more energy for Transfuse, but the damage is being done. Like the third, it's going to fall.
Yeah, this is not enough to take out the Lings before they can kill that Nexus. Ooh, eating a couple of Biles to the face there. And I feel like this is enough damage for Solar. Patience kind of crippled for the rest of the game.
Exactly, and the problem is that, okay, from here, usually you would go on the counterattack if you're Patience, right? Like, you're stuck on two bases, you killed the majority of the queens, let's go. The problem is that behind this, Hydralisk Den is already done, Hydras are going to be coming out for the defense. It's going to be so difficult to, and your Void Rays are going to be so vulnerable if you push out.
Yeah, they really are, not to mention Solar. He has not neglected his production one bit. Let's continue to pump out unit after unit after unit. He can afford to just throw away a couple of Zerglings just to make sure that Patience doesn't rebuild his third.
Yeah, exactly. That's all Solar has to do right now. And Patience is on the back foot. He can't really leave anytime soon. We see he's taking up, he's working on his production. It's going to take a little bit for it to really kick in. Once it does, then Solar can attempt to go to toe-to-toe with the army, but we have a lot of Hydras coming out. Like, where's the AoE going to be for Patience? Like, he doesn't have Storm, doesn't have Colossus.
Exactly. He is trying to work on his transition, working with what he has, realizes, I have a Twilight Council, I should maybe prioritize Zealots first, while also working on Templar Archives, but as you said, he just doesn't have that Templar Archives out, doesn't have a Robo Bay out. He's gonna have a buffer for his AoE, but he doesn't have AoE.
Exactly, and the thing is, charge is on the way, and so is +1, which is nice, but the next attack is going to hit well before those upgrades are complete, as the Queens and the Hydras are already here outside the third once again.
Solar really saying, I do not have time to allow you to recover and even possibly get a fleet beacon this game. I need to end you now.
Yeah, exactly. Overcharge is used already at the start of the fight. The force fields are going down. The Queens are a little bit exposed, but they survive. There are transfuses.
Yeah, plenty of transfuses here available for Solar. He can keep this front for a while. There's a lot of sustainability with it. As he just gets his reinforcements in position, just waiting till he gets a nice concave of Hydras, even sending in more Queens with more energy.
Exactly. God, there's going to be so much anti-air here for Solar. I mean, Patience, he does have a couple of shield batteries here. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though.
Maybe he might be able to just weather this swarm of Zerg, but more and more reinforcements being pumped in from Solar. Already out of energy on the shield batteries. I believe he utilized his battery overcharge a little bit earlier on.
He did.
So it doesn't have the cooldown, and this is going to be it.
Yeah.
Solar going to go up to match point.
Exactly. The boys are pulled, the Biles are landing, or the Void Rays are falling. GG gets called. And Solar takes game number 2.
Match point. Definitely a lot more sensible decisions being made here by Patience, but that's kind of where Solar excels in, right? He knows this meta inside out.
Yeah, that he does, and Solar, he's amazing when it comes to his timings, right? Like, whether it's his Queen pushes or his follow-up Hydra attacks as well, like, that is how he approaches that matchup. And we'll see if Patience can mix things up and fight back here in game 3.
Yeah, but not mix things up the way he did in game 1.
Exactly. Ideally. Yeah. We had enough of that.
By the way, I see Dastan waking up now, and that reminds me, like, we have a Spanish intro, don't we?
Oh my god, I completely forgot.
So did I. Maybe not this game, but next series.
Yeah. We'll do it next series. Thank you for reminding me. And everyone, shout out to Dastan in the chat. A couple of people are mentioning it, but Dastan did join us here and casted with us earlier this morning.
Indeed, he did. That was a Rebirth V3 Chilean only event. And of course, Dastan, he's a little bit too busy playing Genshin Impact and whatnot, so didn't play in that, but did want to participate as a caster. Yeah,
Dastan has been busy with his anime as of late, but he did find time in his busy schedule to join us on the casting desk. So I really appreciate it, especially casting in his second language. You know, he of course, primarily he speaks Spanish, so it was great to have the Chilean Protoss player on here. It was a great time.
Indeed, it was. And speaking of great times, we're back on the map light. We are on Submarine LE, of which we all reside in, although some of us thrive, the LE Submarine. In the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner, on match point, we have the Blues player coming down from the land of Korea. He is the brightest player in all of StarCraft 2. I mean, that's kind of evident with his match pointedness here. Representing KZ Gaming, KZG, he is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Submarine LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Good Game Gaming, GGG. It is Patience.
So we saw him play macro when he played Submarine in a PvP. Wonder if that's gonna happen again in a PvZ. Well, I imagine he'd want to be a little bit more defensive, right? Knowing how quick Zerglings can move across the map.
That's the thing. That's what I'm worried about, because Solar, he's already displayed it. It's something that I would say he's a little bit known for. His queen pushes. Like he's not afraid to waddle his queens across the map, and that distance is so much shorter on Submarine. So if Patience goes for a Stargate opening, and if Solar realizes this, then Solar can hit even faster than normal.
Oh, he definitely can. So I would definitely expect Patience to actually live up to his name this time. Ideally,
we'll see if he goes like Super Saiyan or something and just goes Glaive Adepts again and just shades all over the place and somehow makes it work. I wouldn't be opposed to that, to be honest, but we'll see what he has in store for us.
As both players just, open up as standard as they can. Patience going for the on-meta Stargate opening. However, knowing Patience, he's going to be Void Ray or Phoenix first.
I would imagine it's going to be an Oracle first, question mark.
Yeah, I can see that being pretty effective here on Submarine. Get her across the map as quick as you can before Solar can get too much anti-air up and running.
I would imagine so. I feel like the safer option is to go for a Void Ray first, right? You're able to clean out the Overlords, get that map presence out there. But what's important is that what is Patience going to do after this initial Stargate? Will he commit and go double Stargate like he tried to do earlier? Or is he going to pivot back from this kind of tech and go into Twilight Council?
I just want to see a Dark Shrine at this point. That's all I want.
That's all we're missing, really.
Not sure how effective it's going to be, but yeah, I'm feeling a little withdrawals here.
Yeah, why not? Just throw it out there, Patience. Just DT it up. It's not going to work, but you know.
Yeah, you wanna. You wanna.
He's got that itch, His leg is just constantly tapping at the moment. He wants it.
He really does. Let's say you're gonna go for the other Nerazim unit, that being double Oracle to start things off with.
Oh my.
This time without the Void Ray, so yeah, not gonna be able to distract the Queens of Solar. Going double Stargate, okay.
Yeah, so he is committing to double Stargate. What's interesting is he did wait and bank up 2 Oracles first before moving out, so he will have so much more firepower here. At the same time, though, there are a decent amount of Lings. They are outside. Solar is preparing pretty defensively. Like, this is pretty standard. Like, we have a Roach Horn on the way. We have a decent amount of Queens. We even have some Spores being thrown down.
Yeah, anything Patience throws this way, he's going to be able to deal with it, especially now that he confirms that Patience, he does sort of play a more economic game, is going for that third base, chases away these Oracles. And Patience, he really needs to get damage done with them.
That he does. Oh.
Almost losing that. Oracle. No! Patience! You left it alone for too long!
Yeah, he thought he was safe, but no, the Queen from the main just came over, slapped that Oracle to the ground.
And in the end, 1 Oracle for 2 probes. Not exactly an efficient trade here for
Oh my god. Is he gonna be forced to cancel?
I feel like he has to. Okay, that's getting canceled. And now foresees the Oracle a little more defensively. This is such a massive wrench in the plans here for Patience. But he is resuming a Void Ray production.
I feel like at this point, Patience has to do what Protoss does best, and that's just wall off. Just go full zest, wall off at your third base, and just turtle up, and just try and get into that late game Skytoss army, because he lost a lot there for not much, right? Like his Oracles barely dealt any damage, and he was forced to cancel and remake the third.
Yeah, he's just gonna be perpetually behind. Unless he can, as you said, just turtle up, focus on his macro, and then get to that late game as quickly as he can.
Oh god, and speaking of macroing up, we got an Infestation Pit. Do you think...
Interesting.
Do you think Solar feels like he's ahead enough to just go for the Infestors and Microbial Shroud?
I doubt it, because he doesn't have a Hydra Den, actually.
That's true. I mean, you can do that for the Queens. But you raised a good point. He doesn't have a Hydra Den, which is a little bit odd. He's relying on his Queen production instead.
That's the basis of anti-air. Well, I mean, Not a bad choice, I suppose, and as
Oh
you
my
mentioned
God.
earlier, Submarine is a map where you can waddle your queens across the map a lot quicker. Actually going for Swarm Host this game.
Oh my god. So we have seen a couple of Zerg players do this. I say a couple. We've seen this popularized by Cham quite a bit. We even saw this earlier this morning as well. But we'll see how this works out for him. There is obviously the opportunity for Patience to catch the Swarm Host out of position and off guard. But we'll see. We'll see if he can do so.
Like right now, Patience doesn't realize. Solar really trying to babysit those Swarm Hosts with his queens.
And he does it. He does it successfully. You know, he pushes the Void Rays to the north. Meanwhile, the Swarm Hosts are waddling down to the south. There is nothing to stop them. Nothing to stop the Locust Wave.
No, there really isn't. Shield batteries are going to try to help, but there's only so much they can do. Cannon's immediately going to be cancelled. And just like that, Solar is prioritizing shield batteries, does not want to run the risk of an overcharge, especially since he's coming in to reinforce with even more Lings. This is a dead third.
That Locust Wave killed everything. 2 shield batteries and every single gateway unit that was there. Now the only thing remaining is these queens to waddle in and just go toe-to-toe with the Void Rays. They have plenty of energy.
And the Battle's just cutting off the retreat a little there, even losing one of them before the main engagement happens. Solar, he's just waiting for his Locust to respawn, and once he does, I imagine he's gonna have to push in.
Yeah, exactly. That's why these stasis wars are so important. One of them does get sniped. Again, the hope is that maybe they're able to entrap those Locusts and then they don't really come into play here, but both of them, they get triggered.
And just like that, things have gone from bad to worse. Solar, he's almost maxed out. Patience, he is not even half maxed out supply. The Swarm Host hitting the natural base, the rest of the army hitting the third base. Really nice storms, but that's it here for Patience. That is his only effective damage. Beautiful bios coming out from Solar. GG is called, and a clean sweep coming down. Solar, gonna be your first finalist of the evening.
GG, well played. Solar in complete control of that series. You could argue that maybe Patience gave him that control, especially in game 1. I still can't believe what I saw.
I would not disagree.
I'm never gonna forget that game on Lightshade. But GG, well played, Solar. He advances onto the finals.
Indeed, he does. So we will have at least a Protoss player in the finals. Just gonna quickly double check what our other semis are. Stats, of course, taking out Creator 2-1, real close from Creator, but eventually falling to the much more experienced player. Nice versus Armani, apparently still going on.
Yes, Nice versus Armani. That PVZ is still mid-series, so if you want to tune into that, Pig is covering that series. They're currently holding up the bracket a little bit, but that does mean that we will be able to cast both semifinals on this channel.